I lost a friend. Love's an ocean weather. You sink or swim. I gave you my best. Was it enough? Maybe the past is holding me up. I keep the memories with me. Replay what was. So long, baby. Did you know you saved me? Silver line faded, but you know I'll keep waiting. Cause when I think of us, I always seem to smile. Cause I was happy for a while. I was happy for a while, yeah. And sometimes love will leave you even when it's right. But I was happy for a while, and I don't know how I'll smile again. Oh, 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 yeah, yeah. Remember your face like it was here. I'm getting used to all of the tears, and I'm getting used to forever without you here. And I don't know how I'll smile again. Ask if I'm good, I gotta pretend. I'm holding on to 3 words I should have said. So long, baby, did you know you saved me? Silver line faded, but you know I'll keep waiting. Cause when I think of us, I always seem to smile. Cause I was happy for a while. I was happy for a while, yeah. And sometimes love will leave you even when
Dear
it's
participants,
right.
and
But I was
good
happy
afternoon, ladies
for
and
a
gentlemen.
while.
We are pleased to welcome all of you to our grand event, webinar Anti-School Bullying.
We would like to also send our sincere welcome to the Honorable Lecturer, Mr. M. Badru Razan Ab Hassan, Associate Co-Professor Dr. Wan Amiza Wan Muhammad, and also our respectable guest speakers and participants.
Please allow us to briefly introduce the meeting.
In recent years, school bullying has become a frequent occurrence, which has both harm and bad effect to many individuals and the society.
In many places, there have been accidents of bullying weak students and causing harm to the bullied person. Some bullying phenomena that has been discovered may be only a small part of it.
Before we begin further, allow me to brief today's rules and regulations throughout the meeting.
Participants are recommended to open their cameras.
The microphone should be muted unless the MC or moderator has allowed or invited the participants to speak.
Participants are forbidden from writing harsh words that offended ethnicity, religion, race, and intergroup in the chat box.
Participants can also ask the question via the Zoom chat box or with raise hand feature during the Q&A section.
The agenda for today's seminar will be 4 guest speeches and Q&A sections. The audience can ask questions to the guests during the Q&A sections, and the microphone will be quietly closed during the rest of the time. Thank you, everyone. Now, let's officially start the webinar.
Our first guest is from Indonesia. He is an English teacher in Young's English Camp. As a lecturer, he is in close contact with students every day and surely understands the psychology of students. He also learned a lot about school bullying as the most common thing that happens in modern society. So what actually leads to school bullying? Let's welcome Mr. Davis tells his perspective. Mr. Davis, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Do you hear me, guys?
Yes, very clear.
Okay, good. Okay, let me share my screen first. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Okay, thank you for this opportunity, guys. I'm really glad to be a part of this event. Okay, my name is Delvis. Yeah, I'm from Indonesia. I'm very grateful because I just finished my Master of Transportation Sciences in Hasselt University, Belgium. At the moment, I'm working as an English tutor at Youth English Camp in Padang or Indonesia. And I've been dealing with students to adult level to teach them English. And also at the moment, I'm working as a lecturer at one of the universities in Indonesia. So let me start from the definition of school bullying. I think school bullying is very famous everywhere across the world, also involving pupils, for example. And I think the victim of school bullying caused frustration or less motivated to study because it's very harmful for the victims themselves. Let's go to the definition of school bullying. Bullying is a pervasive type of aggression. It often happens in school, especially. Like other types of aggressions, whether physical and emotional or both, this type of aggression did that on purpose or intentionally. Also, the bullies often repeat this kind of behavior many times, maybe once or 3 times, involve different types of bullying for different countries, also different types of involved. I think in different countries they have a different type of bullying also. For example, in my country, family, yeah. For example, like rice children, they don't have parents. Their parents already passed away, and they are rice children. So that's why I think they often got bullying. But victimization decreases with age. I think the older the person is, the less they got bullied. Here, boys are more likely to be involved in physical bullying and girls in verbal or relational bullying. Like I said, family and peer relationships have been identified as important factors for bullies. Here is the last. Bullying is a group process, which means that the bully also asks other friends to bully someone, to insult someone. Yeah. So they play important roles in incident of bullying, so that the bullying can be more likely in some classes or years than others. Unfortunately, many victims of bullying do not report it to the teacher because if they report it, maybe it will make the bullying getting worse. So that is the perspective of mine. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. I think that's very important key for us to understand what is school bullying. And uh, after this speech, I think there will be more deeper understanding about what is school bullying. So, of the participants, is there any questions you want to ask, or like you have any idea want to share with Mr. Davis? You can type your questions in the chat box, or you raise up your hand. Okay, Jen.
Hi, Mr. Davis. My name is
Hello.
I'm from China. Because I think you just mentioned that the school bullying is a group size and it's most common in the school. But I just wondering, will the school bullying will be reduced during we grow up, like maybe when we're in college, where the school bullying will be reduced because we are more, mature. Do you think that's true?
Yes, I think it's completely true that if you go back to our childhood, I think we often get bullied, yeah, especially dealing with our family, yeah, our peers. Yeah, but now when we are getting older, go to the college, it decreased slowly. But I think when you go to the cyberbullying, I think it's getting worse. Like in social media, if you can see the comments, you cannot read it, yeah, because it's very worse, yeah, yeah.
Okay, I see. So basically, that means the school bullying will change to another mode, which is maybe the cyberbullying or another things.
Yeah,
it's always existing.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Is there any more questions? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Yep, yeah. You're very welcome.
And we're gonna move to our next guest. Our next guest is Wu Hao. He is from China. After getting a master's degree in Australia, he returned to China and has been a teacher in 2010. Today, we would like to discuss bullying with his work experience under the topic, the harm caused by school bullying. Let's welcome Mr. Wu.
Hello, everyone. I'm very pleased to join this meeting, but I want to share my screen. Okay, I think I can do it now. Hello, everyone. After I graduated from the university in China, I went to study in Australia, and after I get my degree in Australia, I went back to China to start my career as an English teacher. So I think I got a very so many opportunities to get contact with the students and just get some information about school bullying and the harm it can cause to the students. Today I'm going to talk about the harm and the bullying can cause to the students. I think it's a very serious problem nowadays. Okay. Sorry, just from the first one.
It's okay.
Okay. Good. Now we can see that the harm caused by school bullying varies person to person. Okay. Bullying can have a variety of negative short and long-term effects for both the victim and the bully. It's a serious threat to our youth today. According to studies from the universities and the famous institutions, bullying affects about 20% of high school students, and cyberbullying affects about 16% of high school students. So we can see different harm the bullying can have on our students. First, we can see the short term. Okay, the short term effects of bullying for the victim. I will going to talk about the victims and the bullying, the students who just did the bad behavior, right? Okay, we can see the first one. All kids or students are different, so they are likely to exhibit different varying behaviors during or after being bullied by a peer. We have different kind of bully behavior, right? Just like David said, with rational aggression on the rise and cyberbullying easier than ever, it should be noted that bullying can be ongoing for long periods of time before students seek help. A study in the middle school in Los Angeles found that a high level of bullying was associated with lower grades across 3 years of middle school. Students who were rated as the most bullied performed significantly worse academically than their peers. So effects on the bullied victim can include, we can say here, social isolation, because they just don't want to, contact with their classmates or just somebody, or even teachers or parents, and feelings of shame, sleep disturbance. It's hard for them to get sleep well and light. Changes in eating habits, no self-esteem, and school avoidance because they don't want to go to school. Okay, and we can say symptoms of anxiety. Okay, a higher risk of illness because they are all under stress, and other psychosomatic symptoms like stomach, muscle aches, other physical complaints with nominated post-school performance, symptoms of depression. Okay, now we're going to next one. And also the bully themselves can also be affected by the behavior of bullying. They can have some, some short effects of bullying for the bully. Just like first we can say poor school performance, missed school due to suspension increases this risk because they are likely to be suspended from class. And second, increased truancy risks, difficulty maintaining social relationships, and fourth, increased risk of substance abuse. Okay, let's go to the next one. We also have long-term risks of bullying for the victims that include, first one, we can have this chronic depression and increased risk of suicide plans, and suicide attempts, anxiety disorders, post-traumatic stress disorder, poor general health, self-destructive behavior, including self-harm, the substance abuse, because the students want to just forget about this behavior, so they just use drugs or something like that. Difficulty establishing trusting reciprocal friendships and relationships, because they just get very hard to trust people in the future. Okay. We can see another just long-term effects of bullying for the bully. Without proper treatment, bully behavior is likely to continue into their adulthood, just like risk of spousal or child abuse, because they may just continue the bullying on their families, like their spouse or their children. Risk of antisocial behavior, their substance abuse, and they are less likely to be educated or employed because of their not very good background information. Okay, we can say, so generally, we can see there's different kinds of harm caused by bullying to both the victims and the bully. So I think it's now the time we should pay our attention to the school bullying and help the people involved to get out of this disaster and nightmare. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, George. We really appreciate what you are sharing today. School bullying would cause so much harm. That's why we need to prevent it. Now is the question section. If you have any questions, please to ask. Thank you, Mr. Wu. Afina?
Okay. Hello. My name is Alfi from Indonesia, and I would like to ask how to help or approach someone who has been bullied, because according to your presentation, those who have been bullied are at risk due to the effect of bullying, and sometimes they can be quite sensitive. Thank you.
Hi. Thank you for your question. I think the bullied, I think sometimes the bullying themselves are also victims, because I don't think everyone wants to just do bad things on others, because maybe they have the family problems, so they have to get some place to let them steam off maybe I think we should just, if this thing happens, we should ask for help from the teachers or other experts as quickly as possible to just make it from becoming worse. Thank you.
Thank you, George. I'm sorry for this because our time is limited. We can only ask one question for this section, and thank you again for today's attendance. Thank you. And next
Thank
we are
you,
going to
Mr.
move.
Wu. Thank you, Mr. Wu, and thank you, Afina. So our next speaker is Tia Ika Melina Kusumawati from Indonesia. She is a nursing student who is currently studying at Brawijaya University, Malang, Indonesia. From the perspective of student, she has her own view on how to face and deal with school bullying on campus. Ms. Mellon, you may share your topic and discuss with us.
Thank you so much, Mr. Richard. Hi, good afternoon, dear participant. We got an insight about that, what is school bullying and the harm caused by school bullying before. So in this section, we're going to talk about how to respond to school bullying. Next, please. The urgency, why, how to respond to school bullying. So, right, because bullying is a serious problem every single day. Hundreds of thousands of adolescents are victim, and that make a concern for many people because of people are not always witnesses it and do not know what extreme bullying can get. And next, please. So I think we have 4 ways how to respond to school bullying. Please go to the next slide. Right. So here we have 4 ways how to respond to school bullying. Next, please. Step number 1, telling someone. Next, please. All right. Tell your parents or someone you trust about the bullying. If you're being bullied, it is very important to tell an adult first and foremost. Tell your parents the entire story. Parents are here to help and want to know what is going on with you. Your parents, moreover, may then be able to get in touch with staff at the school in order to try to stop bullying. This is important, particularly if you don't feel comfortable telling your teacher or fear retribution from the bullying. It is useful if you keep a diary of everything that happens. That way, you can let your parents and other adults know about specific incidents. And the second one, report bullying and victimizations incidents to the school. Inform teachers, principals, and other school helpers. These individuals have the powers of intervene that helps stop bullying. Sometimes bullies stop as soon as the teachers find out because they are afraid they will get in trouble. And teachers are especially important researchers if you're being bullied. They can provide protections from bullying by letting you stay in the classroom during the recess or by setting up a buddy system on your behalf. And it is important to let you know about your school, about any bullying incidents because of there are many other kids being bullied by the same person. Next, please. And the third is talk openly about bullying. Just talking to someone about your experience can bring you a bit of relief. Good people to talk to include a guidance counselor, siblings, or friends. They may offer some helpful solutions, but should not be approached in lieu of telling your parents or school personnel. Just talking about what you are experiencing and feeling can help you feel less alone. Some children have reported real success from peer counseling programs that and there's in the school of them. And the fourth, do not be afraid to speak up. Telling an adult it is not tattling. Bullying it is not a small or trivial matter. It is wrong, and it helps if everyone who gets bullied or witnesses someone else being bullied speaks up. Remember that you cannot check bullying by yourself. No one can, not even adults. Getting help is the right thing to do when dealing with your abuse, bullying, harassment, or assault. We go to the next, please. Step number 2, we have avoiding the bully. Next, please. Avoiding the bully or wherever possible. So do not give him or her a chance to bully you by preventing runs in between the two of you. Think ahead about where you usually run into the bully, avoid those places, and you can try taking a different road from your home to school and also different roads within the school itself. And do not skip classes or go into hiding. And you have the right to be at school and benefit from education. And step number two is feel good about who you are. Ask yourself what makes you feel and look you best. Emphasize your strengths, talents, and goals. For example, do you want to be more fit? If so, maybe you have decided to spend less time on the couch watching TV and more time exercising. Or you can write down a list of your favorite qualities about yourself, read over the list each morning before school to boost your confidence. And then feeling good about yourself will make you feel more confident and help build your self esteem. It will also help you be more self assured at school and perhaps less fearful of running into the person bullying you. And you can spend time with your friends who have a positive influence, playing sports or participating in clubs or good activities to help build positive friendships and confidence. And then we have stand tall and keep your composure. Sometimes you just acting brave is enough to stop bullying from approaching and intimidating you. By standing tall and holding your head high, you can send the message that you are not too big to be messed with. Acting and even feeling brave is easier when you feel confident and good about yourself. It is also something you can practice. Practice walking with your head up or looking at people and greeting anyone you know who looks back at you. And practice using a strong and assertive tone of voice and not shouting. Remember, practice makes perfect. And then we have use the buddy system. If you're trying to avoid being bullied, two people are stronger than one. For example, walk with a friend or a group of friends to school or hang out with them at races. In other words, make sure to have friends surrounding you wherever and whenever you think you might run into the bully. If you have a buddy, remember to be the buddy. Offer to be there for a friend. You know how to be with her, with he or she bullied trouble. So act if you see a friend being bullied. After all, you know how hard it is to be bullied. Tell an adult, stand with your friends being bullied, and tell the bullies to stop. Support those you see being hurt with words of kindness. And the last one is ignore the bully if they say or do something to you. As much as you can, try to ignore the bully's threat. Pretend you cannot hear them and try to leave the situation immediately and go to a safe place. Bullies are always looking for a reactions to their teasing, pretending that you don't notice or care, even if you do care on the inside. That may be show the bully's behavior because they are not getting the reactions that expect and wanted. Next, please. We still have the step number three, standing up for yourself by cool. So next, please. Standing up for yourself by cool. See, for recognize that you have the right not to be bullied. It is not your fault that you are being harassed. You, like everyone else, deserve to feel safe. Oh, shield up for your feelings. So plan ahead. How can you stop yourself from getting angry or showing you're upset? Trying to distract yourself, count backwards, or sing your favorite song inside your head, spell words backwards, and etc. Just keep your mind occupied until you are out of the situation so that it can moderate your feelings and not give them believe his or her desired reactions. And O for say no. Tell the bully no, stop it. In a loud, assertive voice, and then walk or run away if you feel you need to. You can also say something straightforward like stop bothering me. Standing up to the bully simply by saying no sends a message that you are not afraid and will not accept his or her behavior. Bullies tend to go after kids who don't stick up for themselves and then who they think will take their abuse and do whatever they say. There's always strength in numbers, and kids can stand up for each other by telling a bully to stop teasing or scaring someone else, and then walk away together. And the last one, L, for do not bully back. Yeah, do not hit or kick or push away to deal with someone bullying your or friends fighting back satisfied, and then bullies because it is show them that they can get to you, or you can just like say something like fighting back can also be dangerous. If you fight with the bully and win, you might think that you are more powerful, you are more powerful than everyone else, and then end up becoming a bully yourself. Someone could get hurt and you could get in trouble. And it is the best to stay with others, to stay safe and do not bully back. Next page, please. Finally, we have step number 4, making your school bully free. Next, please. So by making your school bully free, you can get everyone on board. And this means getting the entire school, teachers, administrators, and the students to agree to make your school a bully free zone. And then you can put words into actions. It takes more than an assembly or a bunch or sign pronouncing a bully free zone to truly care, to truly create a bully free environment and for students. Change how kids think about other kids. For example, like creating an anti-bullying program may involve creating lessons plans whereby children learn more about other kids, especially those who come from different backgrounds, ethnicities, and cultures, or different learning styles or abilities. Or teachers may teach cooperations by assigning group projects, which helps students learn how to compromise and assert themselves without being too demanding. Rules about bullying and its consequences should be discussed and posted publicly in the school, sent home from the parents, and put it in community newspaper to create a universal awareness of the issue. This will begin the process of large-scale transformations. And then finally, they create greater surveillance. Most bullying in school occurs in the areas that have less supervisions by adults, like school buses, cafeterias, restroom, hallways, and locker rooms. School needs to address these areas by enhancing the monitor of these spaces by additional adults or using enhanced security techniques, including closed circuit cameras. And school can also establish anonymous repeating tools like suggestion boxes or hotlines where students can send text messages or leave voicemail directly. Next page, please. So, stop bullying. No one deserves to feel worthless by Rebecca Black. I think that's all from me. Email me or DM me on Instagram if you'd like to discuss more about bullying and stuff. I really appreciate your attention and thank you. See you.
Thank you, Miss Mellon. That's a wonderful speech. And it's very clear for us to know like the school bullying is happen anywhere inside the school, and we might face this kind of situation. And it's very important for us to know how to respond and how to avoid. And even sometimes we are facing the different even sometimes we are facing the different kind of situation, even we are don't know that is considered as school bullying. So it's very important for us to know how to respond and how to react to this kind of action. And I saw the chat box is very active, and it seems like everybody is interesting about this topic. And I can see there's some question. Wang Renzhi, would you mind to open your camera and discuss your question?
Yes, just like Miss Millenia mentioned before, we should report about this kind of incidents to our school if we were bullied by others. So I want to ask a question that what should the school, what actions should the school to take to protect the students from the bullying? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wang Runzi. I would like to directly answering your question. That was a good question. Thank you so much. Like I said before, so what actions should schools or governments take to protect students from bullying? So it is like completely collaboration between the school and the government. Put words into action. It takes more than the assembly or a bunch of signs pronunciating a bully-free zone to truly create a bully-free environment for students. So change how the first thing you have to we can adapt to do it, like change how kids think about other kids. For example, creating an anti-bullying program or for curriculum in the school or something, and may involve creating lesson plans whereby children learn more about other kids, especially those who come from different backgrounds, ethnicities, and cultures, or different learning styles or abilities. Or teachers or school might teach cooperations by assigning group projects, which help students learn how to compromise and assert themselves without being too demanding. So rules about bullying and its consequences should be discussed by posted publicly in the school, and then we can send home to parents so parents will know about the program, and then put it in community newspaper or any other information that community can access. And then those things we hopefully do, it can be create a universal awareness of the issue. So this will begin a process of large scale transformations of making bully free zone. I think that's for me.
Okay, thank you, Miss Melon and Warren. Is that answer your question?
Yes. Thank you, Miss Milena.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I'm so sorry for that. Due to the time limit, we have to end this question section first, and later we will have a free question section for everybody to ask any question. If you can mention which guest you want to ask, and we will have a free question section at the end of the meeting. And now we move on to next guest. Thank you, Miss Melon.
Here we are come to our final guest. Zheng Chen is from China. She finished her master's degree at Stanford University. She is currently working as CEO at Year2 Education. After years of training in higher education and years of deep cultivation in the field of education, she has her own view about this topic. Let's welcome Ms. Zhang to present a speech on how to reduce school bullying. Welcome, Ms. Zhang.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
I'll just share my. Just a second. Sorry, there is some setting.
Please take your time.
Is it working?
It seems not.
It's working.
Okay, please take it.
Can you see it?
Yes, it's working now.
Good. All right, my name is Chen, and you can call me Lisa. And then our topic is how to reduce school bullying. And then first of all, I want you guys to see some facts about where actually the bullying might happen in school. So some hot places, including the classroom, the hallway, the lockers, and in some places in the bathrooms, or during the PE classes, or etc. So I think in order to prevent these kind of the problems happen, we definitely can do something in certain ways, but not just for the school, as well as for the parents or for the society. All of us can do certain things to reduce the problem, or just to try to minimize that it will happen. So first of all, I would say we can stop bullying in school as a teacher or principals, because they are they are the person that students will see almost every day, and then maybe more than their parents. Right. So for these places that I mentioned about that bullying will happen, I think install a school security camera will definitely help to solve the problem, because it will just monitor what really happens. For some, not the bathroom, I mean, just some public areas. But the first thing is that students can always feel safe under these cameras, because they know some other students who want to bully them might be feared of doing so in front of a camera. They are afraid to be caught. And then besides, if it really happens, then the school can use this the footage or the camera, the video in the camera as a support to say who is right, who is wrong, someone did something not right. It's an evidence. So besides the camera, I think the school can help to deal with bullying easily as taking it very seriously, especially for teachers, because every time when it happens, especially between students who are at a young age, let's say around grade 4 to grade 8, they are afraid of speaking out. Or when they do so, the teacher might just say, they're just kids, it's not a big deal, which I think is not a very good sign for them. They should just pay attention to students and listen to what they want to say. And then at the best is have an open conversation and try to understand what really happens, and then let them speak out. And then the third solution is to, how teacher can help stop bullying in school directly, which is to see it and stop it at once. I think when it happened, usually if someone can infer or say can interrupt the bullying situation, like most effective way is the teacher. Students will mostly obey the rule that their teacher says. Then they will realize that they were doing something wrong or it is a bad behavior. So they will stop it at once. So it's very important for the teacher to say stop or say no. And then the last one is to make strict anti-bullying policies. I think it's a very effective way to prevent it in school. And then because those students who bullies others will stop their bad behaviors because they are afraid of being punished. So it will definitely be helpful. But I think whatever that the school can do is not just enough. They have to get some help from the parents as well. So it's a cooperation work. So let's talk about how parents can stop bullying in schools. First of all, I think parents can really pay attention to the signs that their children might be bullied, such as the scratches on their bodies, or scars or ripped clothing, or sometimes it will be hesitation to go to school without reasons, or anxiety or depression shows up, or sometimes it might be nightmares or crying during the night when they are sleeping. So once these signals appears, I think parents should really just pay close attention and then start asking questions and then let their children open themselves up, just see if there's happened or if there's something wrong. And then the second way is to contact school officials to address the bullying problems and the issues. So once the parents really found out what really happened or something went wrong with their children, they should report it back to school and then to get some help and to tell the school what's going on and to see if the school can stop it immediately and just work close with the school to find a solution. And then the third way is to teach, I think this is the most important, is to teach their child the moral values and give love at home to prevent your child being a bully. So start from the beginning to prevent this problem happening. So as a parent, they are the direct influence on their child, or say their children's social behavior and his or her characters. So children who are bullying others generally come from family without warmth or supervision or parent involvement. So if their child is bullying others at school, they should stop his or her behavior at once. And then I think it's never too late for the parents to teach their children moral values, tell them what is right, what is wrong, something that they shouldn't do. Okay, and then lastly, I think besides the parents and the school, if we are the victims, we can also get help from the public, even though there are not many laws, I would say. There are not many laws or not even any laws to say about bullying, but there might be some certain policies for each school. But there are some organizations in the society or for the public, you know, they can get help from, like either to report it. I mean, the children can report it to their parents or teachers immediately, or get help from the bullying hotlines or the anti-bullying programs or organizations. And there are some of those organizations that will provide help. So just call them or just see where you can find them. They will definitely love to help. And then the last one is, you know, to avoid being alone, because most of the time, people who wants to bully others will always see someone who's being alone in the bathroom, eating alone, right? So just to try to go to the bathroom with a friend or have lunch with a group, or just when you were taking school bus, sit near the front or just keep away from those bullies. And that's all my ideas. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you for Ms. Zhang's speech. I believe that you may have some question about it. If you do, please feel free to ask. Now is the Q&A section for Ms. Zhang.
Okay, I would like to ask if I am the victim, but the teacher chooses not to manage it in order to prevent things from getting complicated. And the parents have chosen to let me deal with the issue on my own. So how should I deal with this extreme problem when I encounter it? Because there are many examples before.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I think that's a great question, because, you know, usually a lot of people will say, you know, I told them what happened, but they just ignore me. You know, I would encourage the students to, you know, speak it out loud to everybody. You know, tell your teacher if they say no, it's not a big deal, then you have to say it back. You have to say, you know, it hurts me. Just be confident, be strong, and tell them, you know, it really hurts me. Maybe it's a very minor issue to you, but it really bring a great influence on me, like including my life, including my studies. I don't feel comfortable by being in this kind of the situation. So just tell them directly how bad you feel, instead of just telling them what really happens, because sometimes they will just, you know, they will just try to ignore it. And including your parents, they do care about how you feel, and then they do want to help you. But, you know, there is an age gap, there is a generation gap. They don't know how to, especially like when you were young, for young children, or, you know, for teenagers. It's hard for them to interact with those kind of the problems. They want their children to solve it, but once you cannot do it, you can just tell your parents, no, I can't. I'm sad, I'm depressed, I'm not happy. You have to find a way, or at least you can teach me, you know, ask for their help directly instead of just explaining the situation.
Thank you so much.
All right, yeah, no problem.
Thank you so much, Ms. Zhang. And I really appreciate for your speech. And before the time limit, I think maybe this session is finished. And since all the speakers have finished their speech, if you still have more questions about this topic, now it's time for you guys to ask. So now is the free Q&A part. You can you guys can ask any question to the four guests.
Hey, it's me, Jam again. Hey, I'm not sure this question.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm not sure the question. Because I don't want to specifically ask who I'm gonna ask, because this question is kind of general, and I just want to ask, since we talk more about the school bullying, but actually I'm not sure in Indonesia or in Malaysia or in other countries, but in China, I think we don't have a specific law about school bullying, right? I just wondering, do you think it's possible, like for in recent year, we will have a related law about school bullying or what? I'm not sure, maybe in China or in Indonesia. Because it's, I think for me.
May I?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I would say definitely yes, because I think this kind of the problems happened, it's increasing happening. So it's especially in primary schools and in secondary schools, let's say. So it would definitely have something, but I don't think it will be a certain law kind of thing. It might be like restrictions, because students who will bullying others are also students. Like Mr. Wu was saying, they are also the victim, might be. So I think providing some education to them would be more efficiently than just giving some punishment. So in my opinion, it's still, because it depends on the school, not really the federal government or the country, because it's very difficult to manage this kind of the problem. You might help one but hurt the other one. So what I believe is, having some restrictions or policies would be much better than having a law. But definitely yes, because it's happening.
It's so pathetic, and it's really a long way to go. I just feel, because actually I have been there before when I was in primary school. So I just hope one day we can have the specific law or something about that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I could understand that feeling.
Thank you. How about Indonesia? I'm just curious. If they have any laws or?
I think I have one opinion about it.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes, I think in Indonesia we have that regulations about children protection. I just researched. We found that this law number 23 year 2002 about child protection, saying that there is also a penalty for that. Yeah. So I think I'm not sure the children will get punished in the sentence or go to jail. They said that at least 6 months. Also, they have to pay the fee about 72 million in rupiah. But I never heard that children are being jailed because of bullying. I think it's only formality of regulation.
The same as our country, just some rules, but we didn't put that in law.
Yeah.
Yes. Who knows? They are teenagers, right? We cannot do something.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Yep. You're welcome.
Just one question.
Thank you, Mr. Davis, and thank you for all the guests. I'm so sorry for that. This is a very helpful presentation, and it's discussed a lot of things about school bullying, but it's time to end the seminar today. Before we leave the webinar, we would like to ask all the participants to open your camera for a photo section. The technical team, please be ready.
Okay, it's me, and ready? 3, 2, 1. So with second place, we have another page. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for opening your cameras. On behalf of our group, we would like to thank all invited guests and participants who have attended our seminar today. Hopefully, the knowledge and experience we received today can be useful in our life.
And we apologize if there's any mistakes. And the certificate will be giving within 1 week. And don't forget to filling up your information in the link given in the chat box to get your certificate. Thank you all. Now, everyone, after filling up the form, you can leave the meeting and enjoy your day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's just say the world ended a week from now. What would you do? What would you do? Only 7 days that we're counting down. Do you know who you'd pull up close to you? Why not tell somebody you love them before it's too late? Why not tell somebody you love them cause they cannot wait? Just tell somebody you love them before it's too late. Cause you're running out of time, don't wait another day. Tell them that they are all you think about. Tell them that life's no go without. Nothing left to lose, nothing left to prove. You're gonna tell the truth. What would you do?
They say a smile can really brighten your night. We're stuck on this rock together, rocking for life. Yeah. This music jamming, I just here for the vibe. I'ma tell someone I love them tonight.
Why not tell somebody you love them before it's too late? Why not tell somebody you love them cause they cannot wait? Just tell somebody you love them before it's too late. Cause you're running out of time, don't wait another day. Look your lover in the eyes and tell her I'll be with you by your side forever, forever. Tell them that they are all you think about. Tell them that life's no go without. Nothing left to lose, nothing left to prove. You're gonna tell the truth. What would you do? Nothing left to lose, nothing left to prove. You're gonna tell the truth. What would you do? What if I wake up happy? And what if I wake up sad? Sorry if I said something that made you mad.
Yes, sir, I think everyone
Sorry, my service bad.
Yes, I think now it's just our classmates and our also our guests. And I want to say thank you again for all our guests. You guys are such a nice person, you know. We are so grateful for you guys can participate our webinar today. Thank you again. Thank you again. Yeah, Dr. You're on mute. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Wanamiza. Thank you, especially to the speakers. You are wonderful. I see that you have made your preparation, and it's very clear what you want to say, and it's very, I think everyone is happy with what you have done so far. Thank you so much again for all the speakers. And just to inform you that for the speakers, this webinar is an assignment to the students. It is worth 30 marks, and 5 marks out of the 30 marks is from the speakers. So what I would do now is I would put in the chat box a link for you to answer, for you to grade the students. If you don't mind me, just give me some time. I can find. Let me see the students. Okay, Mr. Delvis, I'm gonna paste the link here. All right. What else? Dia, is Dia around? Has she left? Oh yeah. Okay. And also Ms. Zhang. Has she left? And Josh, is it Josh? All right. Give me Josh. Okay. All right. Miss Zhang Guan, is she here or has she left?
Oh, Dr. I think she's live because she have another thing to do. Maybe we can just send
She has. All right, no problem. Then just the three of you, Delvis, Dia, and also Josh, if you can just fill up the Google form.